Hey, YouTube, it's been a hot second here. I thought I'd give you guys kind of an update on. I'm gonna get center. Sorry about that. Thought I'd give you guys an update on like what's kind of going on with me right now. Not that I have that many subscribers, but I felt like doing a video today. Yeah. So during the wintertime here in Missouri, I live in Missouri. It gets pretty cold. It stays warm. It can be really warm or it can be really cold, kind of the mixture of both, but especially lately it's been really cold. I did have a three-man tournament in November. I used Impulse here. I played the one, so I played forward, if you know some old lingo. I played up, so with the newer lingo they call it the one. So I played the one. I felt like I did pretty decent. Overall, we did not do too good. We didn't even make it to the prelims. One of my teammates had I know at least 2 dirty hangs, so that kind of caused us to not make it to the prelims. But overall, I had fun. I felt like I did decent. The Impulse here did great. No issues with this. Didn't break any paint hardly at all for how cold it was. But it did great, consistent, no issues. We were shooting, I think, 2-star that day. It was probably about 30-something degrees, maybe 33 degrees. It was warm at the beginning, but the temperature really dropped. That's the thing with Missouri. Temperature can fluctuate a lot. But this video is really about how to make paintball fun during the wintertime, and also how to kind of grow the sport, and a little bit about pump paintball. It's all going to intertwine. So the issue in Missouri when it starts getting cold, a lot of people don't play. I like to play still, like try to get out there and play. But you don't have your airball fields up as much. The tournament guys aren't out there running scrimmages or running points. So you're kind of stuck playing open play. My local field isn't the biggest field. They have an awesome AstroTurf field. Of course, they don't use it during the wintertime because when it snows and ices, it's just a sheet of ice. But awesome AstroTurf field, but the open play scene isn't the biggest. It's not a very big field. So when you go to play open play and you walk up to like a bunch of rentals or new people to the sport, you show up with one of these, they get a little intimidated. And I don't blame them. Why I see one of these, they get a little intimidated. They don't want to play with you or play against you, and it makes it unfair. And really, is that really fair to do that against some rentals, especially if you're trying to grow the sport? So what I did, normally I would use my shoebox shocker, but it's been so cold lately, even I've been having issues with that. So I bought myself a pump gun. Well, not a pump gun. Well, it is a pump gun now. I bought myself an autococker trilogy right here, and I converted it to a pump. So I bought the gun as an autococker, and then I put a pump kit on it. A little bit about this. Of course, I got this off eBay. I saved it from eBay. It's beat to shit, as you can see. And I put a Slipknot sticker on it because there was some metal burrs right there, so I shaved it down to get rid of the burrs, and then I put a Slipknot sticker on it to cover it up, and it makes it look pretty cool. But yeah, this autococker is beat to shit. See if I can get in there. I mean, you got some scrapes there, and you can tell here it's not in the best condition. But yeah, this is it's some people don't consider it a true autococker because you can't do as much on these as you can with your traditional autocockers, but it's still an autococker. It's just not as adjustable. Anyway, I made a pump, but I bought it for like a cheap price. I didn't want it to be an autococker, so I bought a pump kit for it. This is a sliced pump kit. The pump kit costs more than the gun. I got the gun cheaper than the pump kit. But yeah, it's a sliced pump kit on it. And then it's got this little 50-round hopper. But pretty good pump stroke. Sounds a little loud, but if I hook the air up into it, it's actually not too loud. My buddy Ben was using his, he has an Empire Sniper, and this was actually quieter than his Empire Sniper. But yeah, the pump kit's really smooth. I got some different springs in here so I can get the velocity up. So the pump stroke is a little stiff, but I mean, zero issues with it shooting or anything like that. The pump stroke's pretty smooth. But yeah, just kind of like why I wanted to do is just to make it fair. You know, you walk on the field of pump gun with a bunch of rentals, they're more inclined to play with you than you show up with one of these. You know, like, you're going to mow their faces, a gun that can shoot 10.5 really consistently. You can shoot more than that, but that's what fields want you at. So you can shoot 10.2 or 10.5 pretty consistently, or they're not going to want to play with you if you're using that. You can use something like this, more inclined to play with you than that. But yeah, just about it. It's an auto, you know, it's a WPG autococker trilogy. They're kind of like a spider autococker, I guess you'd say. Not a whole lot that can go wrong with them. You pretty much just put air in them and shoot them. They have a pump kit, and I put that on there, and it's great. Not a bad pump gun for cheap. You know, if you just want to go out there and just have a little bit of fun and like work on your game, but also be fair to rentals and not light people up, this is a great way to go. You know, I've been using this pretty much all winter. You know, right now it's like 23 degrees below. You know, I played yesterday on Martin Luther King Day. They had a big game, and I used this, and it was like 20 degrees. Like 23 degrees was high. I had zero issues. There's people that went out there with, like, you know, like your speedball guns, electronic guns, even mechanicals. They were having issues. Now, granted, the paint wasn't that great. It was a Valken graffiti, I believe it was. It was a Valken grade of some sort. I'm pretty sure it's graffiti, and I'm not really impressed with that kind of paint. That paint, even with this gun, I was having like float issues. I don't know if it's a pump gun thing, but like when I'd shoot, it'd kind of like, after like, it'd get like maybe like 6 feet away from me, it'd float and do like something like that, or zag down. And I had the bore match right. The bore match is really small right now here in Missouri because it's cold, so I'm using a 6.77. I'm just not impressed with the graffiti. I didn't have any brakes, but the other guys that were using like mechanicals or speedball guns, they were braking like crazy. And I get it, it's cold, but I didn't have any brakes. I just, the paint was just kind of iffy. Maybe I just got a bad batch. But anywho, I was using this there, zero issues with it being that cold. And it gets cold here, but I want to play still. But with this, you know, you're not going to break paint. It's cheap, and you can go out there and work on your snap shooting game. I had so many gun battles yesterday with just coming in and out, and not that I got every kill, but I felt like I did pretty decent. You definitely have to focus on your snap battle or your gun battles more when you're using a pump, because you got to make that shot count. And it's just fun playing pump. It's a new refresh to the sport. I've been playing for about 12 years. I've never owned a pump gun until now. And it's just like a nice refresh. Just felt like I've just started playing again using a pump. Something simple. I mean, I probably only have like barely $100 in it now after I bought this. I mean, I put a Deadly Winds barrel on it with a freak insert, of course, because why not? The barrel costs more than the gun, but I mean, come on, man, it's a pump gun. It's badass. But yeah, I mean, pump's a lot of fun. My buddy and I, Ben, him and I, been playing pump a lot. He has like 3 different pump guns. He's really got into it, and he got me into it. I used one of his pump guns. He has a Predator pump, which is badass. He's got a little bit more disposable income than I do. He doesn't have kids yet, that's why. But yeah, I used that, and I had a blast. But you know, just to kind of keep in mind when you're playing open play, and I know everybody's having this positive culture thing going on, and not everybody's into that. I'm not saying I'm all into that, but you know, come on, man. If you're playing some open play, possibly think about getting a mechanical gun or a pump gun. Try to get more people into the sport. I mean, and then this is a lot of fun. This is challenging and a lot of fun, and it saves a lot of money, man. I bought 500. You know, 500 paintballs last me all day. If you're going through more than that, you're really laying down some paint. Man, you're really getting the workout. This one doesn't have an auto trigger. Ben's does, but he went through about. I didn't go through full 500. He almost went through 500 paintballs that day. So it's cheaper, you know. Like yesterday, I played for $25. I already have a tank and everything. $25. I was able to play all day using this. Rather than if I was using my Impulse here, I would have had to buy a case. I would have gone through a case easy. No doubt. But just about this gun, so I do have some springs in it. I have a T2 medium spring back here, and then I have a paintball gateway low pressure spring up here on the poppet. The springs are a little bit different than your traditional autocockers. This one is kind of like a spider. So you have a spring back here. So for a regular autococker, they would call that the mainspring, but for a Trilogy, the mainspring's up here. So just keep that in mind. But and it's kind of like a spider. It's got a cup seal up here. So I got a softer spring up here for the poppet and the cup seal, and then a harder spring back here for the hammer to hit. That's because I run a low pressure tank because of my Bob Long gun. And a low pressure tank works great on the Impulse. But I do have something coming in the mail. I do have a GOG, or pretty much the same ASA, not the ASA, same reg as the Impulse coming in for this gun. So I have a GOG reg coming in here. And then I have a CP direct mount ASA coming in for this to get rid of this 90 fitting. I don't like that. It's just in a way. I want it to be streamlined. And I'll make a video of that. Then I'll run a some macro line, some blue macro line here to make it swag. I run a blue macro line through there. That way it can be a little bit more consistent. With the spring setup, I'm close to 300 feet, give or take. Sometimes it's over 300 feet. Sometimes it's below. That's because this isn't a reg. This is a gas through grip. So it's pretty inconsistent. I'm controlling the velocity with IVG right here. Just turning that in. It's pretty much all the way in right now. So that's why it's kind of loud. But that's what I had to do yesterday to get it there. So, but hopefully with the reg, I can make that a little bit more consistent. And I'll give an update video on that when I do that. I really wish I would have made a video when I took the pneumatics off here and put the pump handle on. It's really easy. I can maybe go over that again when I do it. Or I can maybe make a video on how to do that. It's really easy. You just kind of all unscrew and remove the hoses. I kept the 3-way on there. Because why not? I didn't want to lose the part, and really I didn't want to drop the trigger frame to take off that. So, but yeah, that's really about it. It's a really good pump setup for something cheap. I like it. For the amount of money, I think the Zoden K3 is probably the next best thing. Not that this is the best pump gun, because I'm not saying that. It's not the best pump gun. But for the money, you can pick up a Trilogy for cheap, put a pump gun in it, and you're still around $100 for a pump gun. I don't know any good pump guns for around $100. I mean, maybe the KP1, the first one that came out, you can get that. And I would go with that. But I kind of wanted to build something. Not that I want to sink a bunch of money into this, but I just like how long it is. It's a little bit longer than the KP1 or the KP3, so it kind of stretches out. I got like humongo hands. The Slice pump kit's awesome. You can actually make this bigger or smaller. Maybe look into that. It's a little bit more of a pricier pump kit, but it's definitely worth it. It's got a little dimple right there, so you kind of can hold it like that. It's made out of Delrin, so it slides just fine. But definitely a good pump kit. No binding or anything like that. I keep doing that because it's just satisfying. But yeah. Like why I want to get a better direct mount ASA. This one's like tilted, as you can see, and I don't like that. So it's kind of meant for CO2, to keep it from going into the gun and expanding and causing problems. But we'll get a straight. I don't use CO2, so we'll get a straight one here to make it a little bit more flush. Get a reg on it. Get rid of this awful steel hose, braided hose. That's not cool. And it digging into my wrist, and that'll be about it. And I'll give updates on it. She shoots pretty good, not too loud, no farting or anything like that. The springs that I put in it really helped with that. 50 round hopper, but yeah, that's pretty much just an update. That's what I'm gonna be using until probably when it starts getting warmer out and they run some scrimmages or some points. Not that I'm gonna be sticking to pump. It's just something I want to try for fun. Again, just going out there and playing with a bunch of rentals, because that's all that's going on right now, are rentals. I think that's the way to go. Get a pump gun and just work on your game. That's like one way you can work on your game and also not be overkill to other players. You got to be really precise with the pump gun, and you got to be quick on your feet. I'm not sitting in the back when I'm playing with pump. I'm moving constantly.